Everybody, and welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Graven. All right, guys. So, like I said, I've been going through a lot, and I mean a lot of updates on my builds. And today, I'm going to be showing you guys the updated version of my Plaguebringer build. I love this build because it is so different, it's so unique, it's so much fun, and once again, that's what I build to. I build for fun. I like to play builds that are viable, yet very, very fun and very functional at the same time. And this build is very good at what it does. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this. And excuse me, I'll explain everything detail by detail. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the character sheet. You're going to go ahead and see my max health is at 19,728. I like to keep around the 20k mark. If I'm slightly between 19.5 19, I'm pretty good with that. Max stamina is at 36,600. To the right, you're going to see stamina recovery is at 1,256. Below, you're going to go ahead and see my weapon damage is at 2,028 without any buffs or builders. And weapon crit is at 56% on the bow side. To the left, you're going to go ahead and see health is allocated at 4 and stamina is at 60. And the boon we are running is the thief, and we're using max health and max stamina food. Now on the dual wield side, you're going to see that we're sitting at still 19,007. Max magicka has increased up. That's intentional. Max stamina again, once again, it's 36,600. Stamina recovery is the same. The only difference is you're going to see the weapon damage increase up to 24 and the weapon critical up to 61. It's a little higher than what I like, but unfortunately, I can't get around it. But it's fine. It works out to my, it's fine. I usually like to stay around 55, 60, but it's 1% over. And I can't be too picky. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the gear first, okay? So we're going to be running the Swamp Raiders along with the Ophidian Venom set. Okay, so I have the Swamp Raiders axe sharpen with a poison glyph. That's intentional. Also, you're going to see I have an Ophidian axe of Venom with recovery. This is decisive. I'm actually still looking for the sharpen of this. That's why it's not gold. Also, you're going to see in my main hand, I have Ophidian Bow of Venom, glyph poison. That, once again, is intentional. That's sharpen, and that is ideal. But the major change I've actually done with this build is I actually am going to be using the spawn of Mephilia. Now, this is a set that's kind of long forgotten, but works out really nice for this build, and this is why. Now, this is heavy infused max stamina. That is intentional. What this does for me, gives me the max health, which is great because I can, deal with less glyphing or allegation. But the big thing here, when I deal damage with a fully charged heavy attack, I create a web for 10 seconds that deals 1,193 poison damage every second and reduces movement speed of the enemies by 50%. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So for every 10 seconds, as long as I'm doing the heavy attack, it's applied. With this build, I'm going to be doing a lot of heavy attacks because I'm going to be using the Ophidian Venom set. With the Ophidian Venom set, now this is divine stamina. I'm still looking for my infused, hence why my crit's up a little bit high, but once again, I don't mind it. But this set gives me max stamina, weapon damage, adds another max stamina, and then when I deal a damage with a light or heavy attack against an enemy that has poison damage on them, I have a 25% chance to deal an additional 7,769 poison damage. This effect can occur once every second. This is why I really like this, because I'm going to be reapplying the heavy attacks and the poison because I'm going to be doing a lot of poison damage. So this set works out great because I'm primarily bow with this build. So it works out really nice for me with this setup. Of course, I have the spawn of Mephilia's medium shoulder divine. Now, you can either go with light to go with the 6% or stay with the medium and go with 4%. But if you go ahead and you go down into the medium armor passive, this is becoming kind of the debate. You're going to increase weapon critical rating by 328 for each medium armor ability slotted. So if you want more crit, it's very beneficial. But for me, I want to try to get the light to get to 6%. But right now, I only have the medium and divine, so and it's fine because it just adds to the critical. So that's another thing that why my crit's so high. But yeah, that's supposed to be light, but right now I have it in medium, which is no biggie. It's just increasing my crit rating. Swamp Raiders Belt. Glyph Health, Divine. Now, Swamp Raiders, one of my favorite sets. I run on the Stand Blade with multiple builds. What this does for me, it gives me critical, gives me weapon damage, gives me max stam. When I deal damage with a magical ability, your poison and disease damage gains an additional 450 weapon damage for 10 seconds. This, to me, is what makes this so awesome because I'm dealing a lot of poison damage. So I'm going to get the best effect by going ahead and using this set, proc it up, and apply my poison effects. I'm going to be using Swamp Raiders Bracers, Divine, Glyph Health. That's ideal. Swamp Raiders Guards, Infuse, Stamina, ideal. Feet, Swamp Raiders Boots, Stamina, Divine, ideal. Now the Ophidian Necklace of Venom, I am using my purple because I got my fire glyph because I am a vampire. I want that extra 10% towards my stamina and magicka recovery because I will be using one magicka ability to proc my Swamp Raiders. So I want a little bit more recovery. A little bit more cushion, I mean, with flame resistance. So I glyphed this with flame resistance. My gold Ophidian Ring of Venom. Now, I don't know how I got this because you can only get gold this in Vet Hellraw, but I don't do Vet Trials, I guess. But I don't know how this ended up in my bag. So this is glyphed with Stamina Recovery 169. Oh my God, I have another one. I must have done it a couple of times. And this one's glyphed weapon damage. So I have one recovery, one weapon damage, and one flame resist. All right, so, and let's go ahead and get into the skills now. All right, on the dual bar, I'm going to be using Shrouded Daggers. The reason I'm going to be using Shrouded Daggers is this is a builder. It's going to go ahead and deal 6,161 physical damage, but what it does for me is it's going to give me the major brutality, increasing your weapon damage. Now, this doesn't deal poison damage at all, but the only reason I really want this because I'm doing a lot of range attacks, but this gives me the best because if I use any other one like Power Extract, right? It has only an 8-meter radius. It's very close quarters. I'm going to be doing a lot of damage where I get a range of 20 meters with the Shrouded Dagger. So I want to use this to apply my buff for major brutality and deal some damage. I'm also going to be using Delimitate. I'm not a medical student, guys. Delimitate, whatever. But what this does is it's my magical proc for my Swamp Raiders, right? So I really don't care about the damage too much. It's going to be dealing some dot damage, but it's going to be dealing weak amount of dot damage. But once again, it's just to use to proc my Swamp Raiders and keep it up at all times. I'm going to use the Shadow Silk because why? It's dealing poison damage, right? And it offers a synergy for my party members. If any of my party members is running any mall sets, this is a benefit to them. It's going to go ahead and deal 7,769 poison damage to the enemies within the area. Once it bursts, it deals an additional 8,955 poison damage to them. So to me, it's a really great ability. I like this. I'm going to be running a finisher on this with the Killer Blade. This why it's dealing disease damage, and it's going to deal 300% more damage when the target's below 25%. Now, I'm also going to have to keep Evil Hunter on the side. I try to take it off, but then my crit value is too low. So I want this because it's going to go ahead and give me the major savagery increase in my weapon critical by 2,191. I don't have that problem on the bow side, but on the dual wield I can't. I do have that problem. So if you want to go with one precise axe, you might be able to deslot this and go with something more along the line of Leeching Strikes, which is going to head and help your stamina recovery. So if you want to go with a precise axe, deslot Camouflage Hunter, and go with Leeching Strikes for more sustain, you can do that. Now, I also, as you can see, I have the Flawless Dawnbreaker. The only reason Flawless Dawnbreaker, I don't use this because it doesn't deal disease. Some AoE effects I will. It does deal dot damage, and that's great because this is a dot build. But the reason I want this slotted on here is because it's going to increase the effects of my finisher, my webs, and my daggers, because it's going to give me an additional weapon damage of 4%. And I'm going to get that passive in the Fighters Guild, which gives me Slayer, which also increases my weapon damage by 6% for each fighter guild ability slotted. So I have 2, hence 6%. Now on the bow side, remember, I'm going to be doing primarily all poison damage, so I'm going to be using the poison injector. The poison injector is going to go ahead, apply poison damage. Anytime they drop below 50%, it's going to increase the damage amount by 260%. Also, I'm going to be using acid spray. Acid spray is going to be an AoE effect. It's going to deal poison damage. I want to keep poison effects up. An endless hail, even though it doesn't deal poison damage, it's a layering effect to complement the acid spray. So I want to go ahead, lay the endless hail and lay this down. But one of the major abilities I'm going to lay before that is the lightweight beast trap. The lightweight beast trap is going to give me the minor force, increasing my critical damage by 10%. Keep in mind that dots can crit, so I want to take advantage and boost that up. And why not use the lightweight beast trap? Because once again, it has a ranged ability of 28 meters versus the rearming trap, which would have to be up. Now, since I'm going to be weaving a lot, I'm going to take advantage of the relentless focus, because I can go ahead, set this up. It's going to give me the minor berserk, the minor endurance. It's going to increase my damage by 8%, my recovery by 10%, and then when I deal 5 light or heavy attacks, it turns into the assassin scourge, and I can fire a spectral bolt, dealing 12,929 disease damage. Now, even though I can take the opposite, I've chose morph. I've chose to use the ballista. The reason I'm going to use the ballista is, well, it needs morphed. But when why isn't this morphed? Let me get in here 1 second. This should have been morphed. But I actually, I think I do have it morphed. Yeah, I do. I'm going to actually use the turret version because I can keep firing my abilities during this. Now, I could take the poison version and it would deal out more damage. This is true, but I just like it because I can just throw it down and keep doing my thing between my light and heavy attacks and use my my venom set to my advantage. Now, let's go over to the champion points. All right, so I don't have anything in the apprentice, but over in the Astronaut, I put 37 points for 21.15. I'm going to be weaving a lot with this build. So I'm going to take advantage of the bow's ability to deal damage. With that in mind, I've only used Master at Arms at 5.23. The reason being, I'm not dealing a lot of direct damage. This is a dot build. So with that in mind, I've put Thaumaturge up to 21.18. Keeping in mind I have diminishing effects and I don't want to scale too much back because I want to take advantage of some of my precise strikes with my critical damage, my piercing for penetrating value, because keep in mind I'm stamina. I don't have that passive in the medium armor like the light armor does. Even though I am running sharpened, I do want to have some piercing. Now you can go ahead and allocate this up if you feel like you need more penetration, and that's fine. But I've also excuse me, opted to keep Mighty up to 12.8. This increases my physical, poison, and disease. It's my base damage effect between my Thaumaturge and my Master of Arms. All right, so going over here, I've had 2 points extra, so I put in to the medium armor focus. Ironclad is at 17.17. Thick skin is at 611. Hardy and elemental defender is split at 1301. And quick recovery is at 6.17 because I am a vampire. And also I'd like to keep receiving heals in dungeons so I don't die so easily. Also Warlord, I'm going to reduce the cost of my break freeze by 10.22. I have my Mooncalf at 14, never go up above that because of diminishing returns. I am going to be using a magical based ability, so I have Arcanist at 1.20, not too much, just enough to sustain some of the magic recovery. Tenacity is at 12.08. Keep in mind I'm going to be doing a lot of weaving, a lot of heavy attacks, so I want to capitalize on tenacity. And health recovery is at 909, and I put a couple points into tumbling and reduce the cost of the dodge roll effects, and that is how we've allocated the champion points. So I'm actually going to make sure I don't have any of the, yeah, see, I have a couple of them. Yeah, I actually have a lot. Oh, shit. Maybe I had that one done. I don't know. Oh, well. So I'm going to go ahead, pick up the daily, see what we get ourselves into. Like I said, guys, now this isn't ideal for probably like vet trials. You could run this in a normal trial and it would be fine. You wouldn't have a problem in a normal trial and it'd be a lot of fun. But vet trial, I probably wouldn't be running this specific setup. I'm not saying you can't, but you know.
I don't cover the white. That's the right.
My gold.
Armor deck.
2. 1.
Your gear, black, Captain Black.
That's cool. I think that's 1 on Elden Hollow. Let me check. Yep. Alright. So I want to go to Elden Hollow 1, Black Hearthaven, and I'll wait for my friends this afternoon for the white gold. My food buff's about to drop. Gonna reapply that. Up. Now, one of the things I always go ahead and do when I see my targets, I'm going to hit this. A lot of flexibility as far as rotation goes too, as long as you get a lot of those buffs down. It's like a truck though. Oh, whoa, whoa. Where is it? I don't have the thing on. Oh no, I saw it. Where's the Columbine? Did anybody see that? I saw it. There it is. Man, Columbine, if you ain't got... that's another important thing, man. You know, those node little indicating lights. Columbine can just be a pain just to see. Mephilia procs really nice with this build. I am, like, really happy with that. I love it. Now I haven't even procced the Swamp Raiders. Swamp Raiders is kind of nice too, because it procs really it procs nice. I can just go ahead and hit it. I'm hoping to get a Q sometime this year. Yeah, like when you see the Swamp Raiders, you're going to see the arms glow green. That's the proc and the increase to the damage. So let's go ahead and take a look at this prior to the proc. So for example, Poison Injector prior is dealing 4,004 and 9,7. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Now it's dealing 4-5 and 10-30. So about 300 increase. It just kind of goes out really nice. Where is my Q? Ooh. Might have to go normal on some of this Qs. A lot of people don't like Black Hearthaven. Can't say I blame them. I'm one that doesn't. I don't want a normal per se. I'd like to get in whatever. Just trying to increase my chances to get in. I never double kill. You'll never see me do it. Yes. Don't need to be in there, but I'm going to be traveling to them. Must be in the middle of it. Oh well. Sometimes you take what you can get. Sometimes it's just that way, people. No! No! This is not cool. The last boss. Okay. Alright. We're going to switch this out. One skill out. Because I'm going to need a self-heal just in case the healer, whatever. There we go. Oh. We're going to go ahead and put my vigor on. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh. I have to ask. Watch it, people. It's real. Ah, it's me. Obnoxious. Yes, I'm breathing on you. Feel it. Thank you. Not again. Oh my God. I'll never get to show this build. It's not gonna happen. Feel my breath. The stench is overwhelming. I'm not going that far. I ain't got a real healer. I don't think I do. Thank you. Hit the vigor, hit the vigor, hit the vigor. These assholes. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yes, infused sword. Training head, whatever. Now, question of it is, will I actually be able to queue another one since I've... Yes. Get me out of here. Well, we got the last boss in. No, Elden Hollow one. Once again, guys, the major thing to always remember is when you do your heavy attack, right there, there's the spawn of Mephilia. Okay, I want to take advantage of using that heavy attack between my rotation. It's nasty. I love this build. I definitely got to scrap some stuff, though. Hoping I get a queue. I'm hoping. Like, I remember, I actually got, like, one of my pieces, I think my, chest or something. I got in Divine, and I needed one more piece, and I couldn't get the infuse. But somebody in one of the runs was like, "Oh, I got the Divine chest. Like, I don't want this garbage." And I was like, "Okay, sure. I'll take it. I'll take it from you. It's not a problem, man. You know, I will relinquish that garbage from your hands. Hand it over." And that's what makes me laugh sometimes. It's like players sometimes disregard some sets because they think it's garbage. And you'd be surprised, actually, how some of these sets that might seem insignificant can play a very important role. Maybe in bets or PvP, and people just, you know, throw them out the door because it's not what everybody else is running. But that's kind of what my thing. Niche is, like I said on my one video, Niche, I got like backlash for using Niche for a while. And people were like, "Oh, you're using Niche?" And I'm like, yeah. And now everybody's farming for it. And I'm like, you know, But I was using it since one Tamriel.
Loaded the merchant caravans to get back on the road.
But now it's the meta. So that's why I never go off meta. I don't do the whole meta thing. It doesn't pay to be a follower. You know, if you're going to be, that's ever since one Tamriel, the devs really opened up the game. Now, I'm not saying every build is viable for vet trials. Don't get me wrong. But you can usually build a lot. There's a lot of options towards vet builds, like vet dungeon builds. And to me, it's about having fun. I mean, why, you know, if you're going to play a game, why not have fun with it? Why not, you know, do some things that a lot of people, other people are going to be like, oh, you know, I don't want to use that, or oh no, I don't want to play with that. Well, why don't you try it? You know, that becomes the question. You know, try something new. Don't be afraid to experiment. You know, that's a nice thing aspect to theory crafting, I guess, is, you know, take prosperous. I don't even know why that's in my bag. I gotta scrap that. But nice aspect about this game is, you know, thinking outside the box. And when you think outside the box, you get a lot more fun out of it. And a lot of people ask me, why do I continue to play? Do I ever get bored? I'm like, well, the devs made it possible for me to enjoy the game by coming up with different builds that I think is fun. So when I roll with my friends, we get the content done. It deals out a nice amount of damage, or I can heal better. And, you know, I always tell people, man, the devs made it possible. Don't think for a minute they didn't. And you're going to have different results with each class. That's kind of the one aspect that, you know, I always play to. Like, I might have, you know, Vipers on my Nightblade. Doesn't necessarily mean Vipers is going to have a same effect on, like, my Stamsork or my Stamplar. You know, it's still a strong set, but is it going to have the same effect? Am I going to get... The proc might be up there, but I might get actually more damage output because of the Sorcerer's passive ability, increasing weapon damage on that. I might get less with the, you know, well, I can't say really Stam DK, but I mean... It depends. Everything depends. You have to take a look at things. Okay. So gnarly. Love this shit. Well, I don't know if I'm getting a cue here, guys. But once again here, when I want to go over this. The Phidian Venom Ring, when I deal a light or heavy attack, right? I have a 25% chance to reapply additional poison. Keep that in mind. Spawn a Mephilia. When I deal a fully charged heavy attack, I create. That's 100% guaranteed. There's no chance. It's when. It's when. So when I do the heavy attack, there's no percentage to proc. It's a flipping guarantee. That's why I went with it. It's like, boom. There it is. Hit. Hit. Now all I have to do, just keep light attacking. And I can get that to clean up. Because when I have a light attack, I have 25% chance. For every second, guys. That's what makes this setup so badass. So every light or heavy attack has a 25% when a poison's applied. The Mephilia is going to guarantee the poison application along with increasing my poison damage from Swamp Raiders to my abilities. Now it's true, I do have 3 abilities that aren't, well, 4 I think. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, and I don't use this ultimate. 5 technically, but I have 4 damaging abilities that don't deal poison damage. But I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. That is going to make up a huge difference. Now, if you don't want to use the finisher and you feel like it's an overkill, you could probably put in, you know, something else there. That would probably be fine. See, there's the 7-6. That's from the proc. From that. Now, you can also go ahead and put a little bit more into your mighty if you want to increase that. I just like the dot. I like to keep the dots up. So once again, cause and effect, you know, equivalent exchange type shit. So, I don't think I'm going to be getting a Q anytime soon. Ugh. I really don't want to do this on normal. All right, yes. Don't need to be in there. I'm going to reapply my food buff. Guess they're going to take the shortcut. Now, if you guys are wondering about races, I chose Bosner, but Redguard's good, Khajiit's good, whatever. Simple. Now also, if you don't want to go with the axes, you want to go with sword, you want to go put a little bit more damage out there, you can do that. That's an option as well. Do we have a tank? Yeah. Shit, not what I wanted. Where's that big Get stunned everywhere. What? Have no utilities either. I don't mind other healers. Just get your orbs, please. What are you doing? Bring him in. Bring him in. Ow! Why is he on me? Taunt him. Not bad. What do we got here? Oh. That kind of explains things. Every time you see about the 7-2 down below, that's the proc from the Venom set. Nah, screw it. I can't make this up, people. I guess slow and steady wins the race. Maybe. I don't know. I'll go with it. Don't hit yet. There could be a heavy sack over here. Oh, not today. Up. Nasty. Why up here? I never tank it up here. Okie day. I think I like rolling with pugs more and more just to see how people play. Not to say it's bad, it's different. It's just different. As long as I get through it, I never care. I never really do. Some people are anal about it more than I am. It's like, you know, it's pug life, you know. You take the good and the bad, and you just kind of roll with it, you know. I think it keeps it interesting, to be honest with you guys. I mean, it does. I mean, you just never know. You have to anticipate people are going to do things different than you are. You never know. You're just like, let's see how this rolls. we missing one? Or maybe a couple? Why does it keep coming? It's bugged. Not my fault. Moving on. I always kind of want to stay in front of the healer as much as possible. Okay. Running too much. No, 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 don't engage yet. Bop him. Bop. Give me that. I'll hit it. A little lag. Don't know why that dude died, but she's got about 14k. Let's find out. 18. Yeah, it's not bad. That should be doable. I hate the fact that I'm running out of friggin' stamina all the time. Another bugged harpy? Maybe? Nope. Another simple chest. Malachite, that's pretty cool. I got him. Just keep healing. It's my job. Junk. Sometimes there's a heavy sack over here too. Yep. Nope, there's a heavy sack. I would die for some orbs. don't know what this other DPS is using for AoEs. Anybody find out, let me know. What? He just keeps firing the Jesus beam! What the fuck? Oh, there he goes. Don't really care about any of the other stuff. No, what are you doing? You stay here. Yes, stay. Just keep kiting. No, no, no. Pull him back. No. We didn't read the scroll either. Fuck. You just scroll too when you do it this way. Ah, that's pretty decent. Divines, I'll take it. Alright, I mean, I'd rather have them fused, but whatever. Alright, guys, so pretty much that's the build. You know, didn't get orbs, you know, didn't get as much synergy as, you know, I'm more accustomed to. But, brilliant, yeah, thank you. But for the most part, it's a fun build. It's really fun. It's a dot build. You're not going to see a lot of direct damage up front. That's kind of the sacrifice. But the dots kind of proc up. And when you guys kind of see, everything kind of just layers up really nice. Single target and AoE. Works out nice. It's a very effective. Sometimes you're going to get better groups than others. But, you know, it's pugs. And that's kind of what we do. But I like this build. I love this build. I love it, love it, love it. It's fun. It's, you know, it just kind of flows. Now, here's the deal. If you want a little bit more regen and willing to sacrifice the spell power, you can actually probably glyph your other jewelry with recovery. That's if you want a little bit more recovery. I usually stay between 12 and 14, you know, recently with all the Morrowind changes. So 12, 5, 6 I'm pretty comfortable with, but keep in mind stamina builds are going ahead and using a lot more. Just if you're barely running, you're going to use stamina. But for me personally, this is typically very doable. But if you feel like you need a little bit more, then you want to go ahead and go down to your jewelry and then just glyph the weapon damage. But keep in mind that'll affect your DPS. All right. But if you have any questions or comments, post below. I want to thank you all for watching today. And once again and always, have a nice day.